All right. Hello, everybody. Todd, itinerant, the road, whatever. So for my next project, so I'm going to. I bought this set like at some convention, like for $10 or something one time. Guy was trying to get rid of inventory. I'm sure I wish I would have bought more, knowing that I was going to get into 15 mil more. But it's UBX 42. It's just the rifle company. Now they sell an armored infantry company, but whatever. It's the same guys. But I bought the set and it's just been sitting there. And I thought, you know what? I want to build it. It came with the bases. I'm just going to build it Flames of War style since I've been kind of reading the books and stuff. So I'm going to build it as one of the provisional companies. So what do I mean by that? So my grandfather was in the 12th Armored. I've mentioned that a million times here. He was a part of the 56th Armored Infantry Battalion in supply. So this is a cool book. This will be a book I talk about in the history research books, but I just want to read this kind of, to me, as a potentially throwaway line here. It says here, on 10 March 1945, the 7th Army Provisional Rifle Companies 1, 2, and 3 were attached to the division as D Company of each Armored Infantry Battalion. You go 25, here the note. 12th Armored Division, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the Provisional Rifle Companies were composed of African Americans volunteered for combat duty. So, after the Battle of the Bulge, we needed more men. And so African Americans were pretty much relegated to driving the trucks and stocking and cooking and all the stuff that has to happen to make an army run. Of course, they wouldn't let them fight for a variety of reasons. I'm showing you my notes. That's funny. Let me go back over here and show you this box here. Now, this obviously isn't that, but I've decided so in 6 mil I built the 56th Armored Infantry Battalion. In 6 mil at platoon level, so each stand was a platoon. So I do, and I've been wanting to do it in 15 mil. I don't know what level yet. So I thought, you know what? I've got a bunch of guys based, so let me focus on getting that done. And the first thing I want to do is one of those provisional companies. This is a company, so I'll just make it one of the provisional companies. So there were, as you saw, 3 companies as D Company. And they were led by a white officer, but in the 12th Armored, there was a Medal of Honor winner post 1997. I'm not even trying to say the word. It's not coming to me right this second. But before I read about him, so that's what I'm going to do. I want to focus on that. I'm getting a book called Blood and Dignity, and it's about African Americans serving. I've read the book by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar about the 761st Tank Battalion, and then I have another book about that. So we'll look at that sometime. Maybe we'll build some tanks focused around that. Those did not fight in the 12th Armored Division. I'll have to look at where they fought. So I primed these figs already. I primed them on. I'm going to try one. I'm going to try painting on the sprue. I clipped the heads and the arms where they connect. The only places connected are at the feet, and so we'll see how that goes. I primed them all in the paint I had, which was German Field Gray from Plastic Soldier Company. Except for this one, I hand painted with some Army Painter primer because I already had it out and going. So there's that. I'm going to read a little something to you about the Medal of Honor winner. So let me go to that. I'm looking forward to doing this project. Of course, that means now I got to get some half tracks, which I do have some. But anyway, be right there. Be right back. Right there. Anyway. So I'm going to talk to you about Edward A. Carter Jr., who passed away in January 30th, 1963. He was a sergeant first class, wounded in action March 23rd, 1945, near Speyer, Germany. I'm going to read the citation for the Medal of Honor. It was awarded to him after his passing in 1997 because they wouldn't give black soldiers more than, I can't remember what he got, but they would only give him a certain level, and then he and 6 others won it were awarded in 97. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, Staff Sergeant Edward A. Carter Jr. distinguished himself by extraordinary heroism in action on 23 March 1945. At approximately 08:30 hours, 23 March 1945, near Speyer, Germany, the tank upon which Staff Sergeant Carter was riding received bazooka and small arms fire from the vicinity of a large warehouse to its left front. Staff Sergeant Carter and his squad took cover behind an intervening road bank. Staff Sergeant Carter volunteered to lead a 3-man patrol to the warehouse, where other unit members noticed the original bazooka fire. From here, they were to ascertain the location and strength of the opposing position and advance approximately 150 yards across an open field. Enemy small arms fire covered this field. As the patrol left this covered position, they received intense enemy small arms fire, killing one member of the patrol instantly. This caused Staff Sergeant Carter to order the other 2 members of the patrol to return to the covered position and cover him with rifle fire while he proceeded alone to carry out the mission. The enemy fire killed one of the 2 soldiers while they were returning to the covered position and seriously wounded the remaining soldier before he reached the covered position. An enemy machine gun burst wounded Staff Sergeant Carter 3 times in the left arm as he continued the advance. He continued and received another wound in his left leg that knocked him from his feet. As Staff Sergeant Carter took wound tablets and drank from his canteen, the enemy shot it from his left hand, with the bullet going through his hand. Disregarding these wounds, Staff Sergeant Carter continued the advance by crawling until he was within 30 yards of his objective. The enemy fire became so heavy that Staff Sergeant Carter took cover behind a bank and remained there for approximately 2 hours. 8 enemy riflemen approached Staff Sergeant Carter, apparently to take him prisoner. Staff Sergeant Carter killed 6 of the enemy soldiers and captured the remaining 2. These 2 enemy soldiers later gave valuable information concerning the number and disposition of enemy troops. Staff Sergeant Carter refused evacuation until he had given full information about what he had observed and learned from the captured enemy soldiers. This information greatly facilitated the advance on Speyer. Staff Sergeant Carter's extraordinary heroism was an inspiration to the officers and men of the 7th Army Infantry Company 1, Provisional, and exemplified the best traditions of the military.